Hey guys, Fighting Man here. I'm a dedicated Smash and NES one-trick high GSP legend, as I'm sure you're aware. But Nintendo hates Smash, and Smash players love underage kids. Smash is out. Nickelodeon promises to deliver that exact same experience, but with characters that are recognisable and nostalgic from your childhood, not from JRPGs. Move aside Sakurai, because I want to play as SpongeBob beating Powdered Toast Man into a crummy mess, and I want to be able to do it online without Nintendo getting angry at me for trying to use their paid service. I want there to be a game like Smash that the devs actually care about the competitive viability of, so that hopefully half of the professional player base don't turn out to be nonces due to the cowboy structure of the tourneys that have to be run without Nintendo's literal billions.
What's up, guys? Welcome to my best Smash players that are not pedophiles compilation. Thanks for watching.
Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl looks like a roster we can be proud of, and I have hope. Like many a fighting game before it, a lot of people are speculating which characters we might see in NASB. Hugh Neutron, Aang, Timmy Turner.
Guilty.
The Penguins of Madagascar? Yeah, that's all well and good, but we're missing the most all-star of all, aren't we? See, Shrek is owned by Viacom, who is a parent company to both Nickelodeon and DreamWorks. Who else has the only respective fighting game in the world? DreamWorks. Shrek's Super Slam probably has better netcode than Smash anyway. Okay, I hear you, the Shrek meme is played out, but there's a real star right in front of our eyes. And what better time is there than right before the reboot of everyone's favourite web star? That's right, Carly Shay. There's been no confirmation of cartoon only, and on the Nick website there were a back catalogue of drawn versions of the whole iCarly cast. Imagine fighting as Freddie Benson. Shrek, iCarly, yeah, good thinking, Goblin Man, good joke. Nice try, idiot. They'll never add Shrek or Lubert from iCarly, so go and play as Sandy Cheeks and be happy with it. Well, sheeple, have you considered the final piece of the puzzle? Allow me to tell you a story. Imagine, if you could so indulge me, a small farm in rural Indiana, a small farm in a town of Marion that was host to many a black Angus cow. Life was simple and life was fair to a couple called James and Anna, known to their friends as Jim and Betty. Though, as the Second Great War in Europe rolled to a close, they had their second son, a brother for Dave. Named for his father's sake, he too was called James, but, like his dad, he preferred Jim. Jim had a nice childhood, growing up on the quaint farmstead with his brother and a host of stray cats. Jim always loved cats, and he found them fascinating. So much so that he would spend time drawing them when he had to take it easy due to his asthma. While attending Fairmount High School in 1962, he joined the school's newspaper, where he became art director, making his own illustrations about school life. He got better and better at drawing throughout his happy childhood, and took that passion right into and out of school, directly to Ball State University, where he studied art and business. Now into his 20s, that boy from the farm in Indiana was a man. He joined an advertising agency, working as an assistant to Tom Ryan, the creator of the Tumbleweeds comic strip. Under his tutelage, Jim learned the art of making comics with gags. His Norm Nat comics proving popular enough to run for 3 years in the Pendleton Times, a newspaper in Pendleton, Indiana. Jim was hungry though. He wanted his strip to become a national syndicated success, though in a realisation that was from the mouth of an editor, Nats were not the way forward for Jim. After a brief meditation on the state of humour in this ruthless industry of comic craft, James found inspiration from his life on that farm where he grew into the cartoonist he is today. Cats. He knew animals were funny inherently, and the likes of Snoopy hammered home that he was the star over Charlie Brown in Peanuts. He based the character very much on his own upbringing, a boy brought up on a farm in Indiana with his brother and loving parents, finding himself a bachelor in the late 70s. He chose the name John for this character, and, like Jim, he too enjoyed the company of cats. John ran from 1976 to 1978 in the Pendleton Times, but Jim was still hungry for more. In an act of history repeating itself, the titular character fell to the wayside compared to his animal friend. In a Davis family tradition, he named the cat after his grandfather, James Garfield Davis. Garfield proved to be a success, and a mighty one at that. The Garfield comic very quickly overtook the popularity of John, mostly thanks to John coming as a beta run for Garfield, many of the gags and themes of which were reused for the comic, focusing mostly on the hungry cat. In 1981, less than 3 years after its nationwide launch, the strip appeared in 850 newspapers and accumulated over $15 million in merchandise. To manage said merchandise and profits, James Robert Davis from Marion, Indiana, founded Paws Inc. For almost 30 years, this is how Garfield would remain, proving to have success during that time with television and movies. The funny orange cat in recent times has been propagated to godhood, being seen often in memes and in internet communities at large. Be it ironic or genuine love for the character, Jim Davies created an icon in Western culture that will remain for years to come. However, in the summer of 2019, Viacom, through one of its subsidiaries, acquired Paws Inc., meaning that Garfield and all of its rights were passed over to Nickelodeon. Jim would continue to create the Garfield comic strips, as he has for over 30 years, and now hosted on a different URL. The Viacom acquisition was a move by Nick to reboot Garfield on the television, which proved successful in revitalizing the character for a new audience in the 2000s. Jim commented,
"I've always tried to make people laugh with humor that is classic and appealing to both kids and adults. I'm delighted that Garfield is going to be placed in the capable hands of the folks at Nick. They know how to entertain and will be great stewards for the franchise. I am also excited to continue to do the thing that gets me out of bed every morning, the comic strip."
This is the story of the funny orange cat who kicked Odie off the table. I can see no other option but demand that Garfield gets added into Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Can anyone think of a better character, a more iconic fighter? He kicks the dog, he consumes pasta, hands down. There would be no better swan song for Jim Davis's Twilight than being able to kill a rugrat with Garfield's lasagna-based neutral air. I made it this long talking about Garfield and I only said lasagna once. Sign the petition, subscribe, Garfield for NASB.